Okay, and welcome to the second video for Unit 2, which is our algebra unit. And in this video, we're going to be looking at mostly expanding and factorising. Some brilliant spelling just here, if you noticed. Look at that, factorising. Fantastic. Good to know I can spell on a Wednesday morning. So we're going to be looking at expanding brackets. So we all know that what we do is that the number or term in front of the bracket multiplies both of the terms inside the bracket. So the 3 multiplies the 2x, that makes 6x. The 3 multiplies the plus 4, and that makes plus 12. If we look at this question, it's going to work in the same way, except there's a couple of little differences, but the 4x is multiplying the 2x. Now, 4 times 2 is 8, and the x multiplies the x and makes x squared. And then I've got 4x times minus 3y, so 4 times minus 3 is minus 12, and the x times y makes xy. So this is a real key GCSE style question, expand and simplify brackets. So this is something that will come up again and again. And I've picked this particular example because there's a lot of negative signs, especially inside the second term of the bracket. So we've got to be very, very careful. So we'll do the first bracket. So 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times plus 6 is plus 12. And then we're moving on to the second bracket, and it's not just 4 timesing the 2x and the 4 timesing the minus 4, it's minus 4 times 2x. So minus 4 times 2x is minus 8x, and then minus 4 times minus 4 makes plus 16. And now I have to simplify the terms together. So if I go through my process for simplifying, I look at the x terms. So I've got 6x and minus 8x, and that gives me negative 2x. And then also I have got plus 12 and plus 16, so altogether that gives me plus 28. Now that answer is fine to give as it is, but because I've got a negative sign at the front, it's often better to just write these two terms the other way around. So start with the positive 28, because I don't need to put the plus sign in front of it, and then minus 2x. Okay, so I spelt it properly this time. Factorising is the reverse of expanding, so I'm looking to put it back into brackets, and I'm looking for the highest common factor of these two terms. And obviously, for this question, that's just 4, because 4 goes into both 4x and 8. And then either think of it as dividing both terms by 4, so 4x divided by 4 is just x, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. Or think about what needed to be in the bracket to get me back to this 4x plus 8. If I had 4 outside the bracket, I needed x inside the bracket, so that 4 times x is 4x. And if I've got 4 outside the bracket, I needed plus 2 inside the bracket, so that 4 times plus 2 is plus 8. Okay, so we're going to go through the same process here. Notice the change in wording of the question. They tell me to factorise fully. That means I want to take the highest common factor to the front of the bracket, the most amount of stuff. So I'm looking at the terms, and I've got 4x and 8xy. I can see I can definitely put a 4 in front of the bracket. But because both terms have an x in them, I can also put an x in front of the bracket. So I'm going to pop that in front as well. Now, I'm going to do it the other way this time. What needs to be here so that when I do 4x times this, I get 4x? And that's just 1, because 4x times 1 is 4x. And then what needs to be here so that when I do 4x times this, it gives me 8xy. Well, it needs to be 2, because 4 times 2 is 8, and y. Okay, so this is our last example. Factorise fully 9x squared plus 12x. So brackets, because it says factorise, that's what we know we have to do. Looking for the highest common factor of 9x squared and 12x. So the highest common factor of 9 and 12 is 3. 3 goes into them both, but nothing more. And then I've got an x squared and an x, so I can put an x in front of the bracket. What do I want here to make 9x squared? So I want another 3, because 3 times 3 is 9, and I want another x, because x times x is x squared. And then what do I want here to make 12x? So I want 4. I don't need another x, because there's already the x in front of the bracket, but I do need it to be a positive 4, a plus 4, because I wanted a plus in between the two answers. Okay, so here's some quick questions for you to try. Give them a quick go, check your answers in a moment, pause the video while you do them. And here are the answers. Hope that's been useful. Make sure with the factorise fully questions, you've got the best possible answer rather than just an easier answer, because you would lose marks on the exam for that. Okay, good luck with your revision, ladies, and I will see you tomorrow in lesson, and we're going to be carrying these videos on over half term, so make sure you're keeping on top of them. I will talk to you about it before you go away for your half term break.